Hi, kids!
That was nice. That was better than last week's elongated hi, kids.
Yeah, but that's because the week before, 2 weeks ago, you slagged off my hi, kids and said that it wasn't fun enough and that I should try and do a little challenge and go for the long run. So
Okay,
I
what's
did.
your challenge for next week's one?
I don't know. You're the one that sets the mark.
I've got
Tom.
to set your challenge. That's not
Yeah.
fair.
Well,
Different language. We're going to do it in German next week. Anya, you're doing it in German next week. That's probably Guten Tag, infants.
Bibbies.
Nailed it.
Is that Spanish, Italian?
I don't know.
Bebes.
Probably
Bebes?
Italian. It sounds Italian.
It sounds like a tapas, like, I'll have a bebe.
Is this offensive? At what point does it become offensive?
Look, I am in awe of people that can speak a language other than the basic English, which I
can barely do.
I can barely do, and I am English.
But next week, Anya, I think you should say it in German.
Okay, I will
That's the
say
challenge.
hi, kids, in German, and I will probably butcher it, and you'll ask me never to speak in German.
Speak
ever.
again.
Sorry,
Just
not even speak in German. Attempt.
don't go to
speak in
Germany.
German.
You won't be legally allowed in Germany by the end of next week.
It'll be
That's the plan.
I have a black mark next to my name.
No fly. How are you, Anya? You all right?
I'm okay, Tom. Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah, I got sent today this website that counts down all the days and the times until when we're allowed to do things again.
How many days?
It's like 6 days until we're allowed to meet up with one friend for a coffee in the
Nice.
park.
Nice.
I think it was like 72 days until you're allowed inside a pub, which is cool. 72 days does sound like quite a long way away.
But the crazy thing is that we've all as a society have just gone, this is definitely happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
100% happening.
They can't.
We've
back
now
out
got a
of
new
it now.
variant. There's a Brazilian variant now in the country, and we're like,
Brazil.
definitely 21st. We'll all be out in clubs. All going to be absolutely off our nut. No, I reckon it's going to get pushed down the line.
I mean, who knows? Who knows with our government? They like the hokey cokey.
It's going to be like Christmas all over again.
Yeah,
I think this will annoy more people than Christmas did.
empty promises. I think, yeah, with Christmas, it's like, okay, it's fine. We're not going to have a large Christmas this year, but we'll just strip it back and have a cozy one. It'll still be cute. While summer, it's like, strip it back and have a what now? No, like, summer is meant to be big. It's meant to be wild. It's meant to be fun. I don't want to sit inside my own four walls when, you know, it's beautiful outside and the beer garden is calling my name, you know?
And there's festivals out. Yeah.
I just can't believe that on the news this week, the festival owners have been talking about how they're going to get their festivals up and going. Like Reading Festival apparently is still planning
Loads
to
of them
go
are still
ahead.
going. Loads of them are still going ahead.
It's crazy. I mean, I'm all here for it, but
Oh, yeah,
there is
100%.
that like little niggle in the back of your ear going, "Is it really going to happen though?"
Don't waste your money. You'll get heartbroken.
Anyway, what has your week been like? How's your week been? Who are
What my
you?
week has been like, Anya, is my weeks have all just kind of hit the same pattern at the moment where I do everything the same.
Mhm.
All my days are exactly the same. The only differential is what I have for dinner.
Groundhog Day.
Except a different dinner.
Repeat. Except a
Different dinner.
dinner.
Groundhog Day is how I like to express my life these days.
That's how you can tell the difference between a Monday.
Oh, Tuesday.
and
I had
Tuesday.
carbonara on Tuesday. It was a great Tuesday. What did you do on Wednesday? What did I do on Wednesday? We had lasagna. Oh, Wednesday! Of course. Yeah, that's the only way I can. That's the only day I can. The way I can differentiate my days. These moments.
But doesn't it also feel like, although every day is the same, I swear time is going so fast. Like,
It's going really fast.
time's going so fast, but I'm also not doing anything, and I don't know where this like time warp. It's like a little suction where it's like, your time
Oh,
is
I
gone,
don't
but
like
you've
that.
done nothing.
Doctor Who is just messing with you. He's
He really
messing with
is.
you.
It's not fun, but hey,
But-
we're out of it soon.
Yeah. 71 days or whatever you said it was.
Yeah.
But Anya, every week
Mm.
we have a special little feature called I'm an Adult But,
Mhm.
where we express to the Tune Squad that it's okay to still do childish things here and there, and you'll still be an adult. So Anya, what's your I'm an Adult But for this week?
So my I'm an Adult But for this week is another one of those where I've only just found out this thing at the grand old age of 24, and I really should have known this like from the get-go. Well, from the get-go.
Is it how to say tortoise? Because that annoyed me last week and I didn't raise it.
Tortoise? There's a difference between a
Tortoise.
tortoise and a tortoise.
What's the difference?
I think isn't a tortoise aquatic? Is that a turtle?
That's a turtle.
Then why is tortoise a thing?
It's not. You're the only one who says tortoise.
I'm not the only one that says tortoise.
Put it up on the poll.
Okay, I'll put it up on the poll.
Go to @WeAreAudioBox on Instagram. Vote on that poll and tell Anya she doesn't know the English language because that really offended me last week and really annoyed me. Anyway, carry on with your story.
Wait, can I just state my claim a little bit? I've already said that I can't speak the English language and that speaking German is gonna be an absolute minefield.
Oh,
so...
you've been speaking German this whole time. Of course.
Do you not know tortoise is turtle in German?
About horses in German. God, irritating.
Anyway, Tom, the thing that I should have known a lot sooner is that, and I wonder if you don't know this either, or anyone out there also doesn't know
Calling me
this,
right out here.
so you know oil, like sunflower oil, olive oil, you know when you get a fresh one, like fresh, new from the supermarket, hasn't been opened yet, you unscrew the top.
Yeah, and it's got that ring pull thing. Did you know? But yes, that's what I've always done. Did you know that you're meant to keep that, turn it upside down, and pop it back in to the hole, and then it becomes like this little, you know, like on salt when you've got the different caps where you can make it either all pour out as one, or you can make it pour out in like little dots, so it's like a slow, you know, salting rather than it's like a pile on my plate. This cap does the same thing. It's essentially a stopper for the oil, so it doesn't pour out as one, so it slows it down. Did you know that, or did you not? I did not know that. But have you tried this?
Yes.
Oh, you've tried it?
My friend called me way out on it this week because I sent her a video of me cooking, like just some fun video that I was doing.
Yeah, of course, friends.
It's so cool, you know. What else are we meant to be doing in lockdown?
Hi guys, it's me. I'm cooking.
Hi guys, it's me. Look at what I'm cooking tonight. It was just a like Snapchat video. It wasn't like anything beautiful on YouTube. Don't worry. But I could do that if you want. Anyway, they called me out and said, "What are you doing with the oil? Why have you just thrown that away? You should be using that. What's wrong with you?" And I didn't know that. So I am an adult, but I am still learning new fun things in the kitchen.
Fun things in the kitchen. We're all learning, Anya. We're all learning.
Yeah, but I wonder if you guys out there knew that or not. Let me know. Tom didn't know it.
I didn't. Yeah, there's lots of things that I don't know, Anya. Just because I don't know doesn't mean the Tune Squad doesn't know. But I'm an adult, Anya. But I got embarrassed. I rarely get embarrassed in the house.
Didn't you get embarrassed last week at work with the Nutella?
It's 2 weeks ago, but yes.
Oh.
But at home, I rarely get embarrassed because these people have known me or met me once before. And
well, yeah, they're your parents. They literally have been there. Well, at the point
one
of
birthed
conception.
Me. One birthed me for
the
some
other
time.
one was there for the other bit.
Yeah, and well, both of them were there for the first bit, Anya.
Well, yeah, that's how biology works.
You said the other one was there. I was like, oh, they're both there
as well.
Anyway,
before
you teach me more about the anatomy wrong,
birds and the bees.
I was cleaning my room like a good boy,
well done.
and I found my old basketball.
Aww.
Because you know, sports.
Yeah, that's you written all over, isn't it?
Yeah, you're kind of born like this. You're kind of born a natural athlete like I am. And anyway, I was like, oh, this is cool. It has a built-in pump. And
what?
It's got a built-in pump.
I can see that on the video, yes.
So yeah, if you're watching this on
try it again. What is it with you and like bouncy balls? Because you had one of these recently, your gym balls.
Yeah. I've got a gym ball that I like to sit on just because. Anyway, I've got this basketball and it's got a pump that's built in.
That's nice.
And so I'm in my room pumping it up and it sounds and looks disgustingly wrong. Right, so this is what it sounds like.
Ooh. Yeah.
And I felt embarrassed doing that in my bedroom where my mum's working in the room behind me.
Okay.
So I got up and left my room to walk into her room.
Oh my god, is she there now?
And so I got up and left my room and carried on pumping. so she could see it was nothing disgusting happening in my room, and I was just inflating my basketball. So Anya, I'm an adult, but I'm embarrassed. I was embarrassed by my mother, who didn't care about what I was doing because she was focusing on work.
I mean, I think that there are probably other people out there who have been in similar situations.
I hope so.
Like, for example, I get embarrassed to watch Netflix scenes that have, like, sex scenes.
Oh, do you turn it down as well?
Yeah, I turn it down.
down.
Because I'm like, my door's closed. Do they think I'm going to be... Do they think that I am watching something that isn't a movie?
Just
if
adult
you get
videos.
my gist.
That's exactly what I do as well. I'm like, oh, I've got to just mute this for
Exactly. And then sometimes I'm
10
like,
seconds. Hopefully it's short.
Exactly. And sometimes it is a short scene. And then I realise that, you know, Dad's just walked up the stairs. And then suddenly it cuts to a scene where they're, like, obviously, like, driving or they're, like, chatting and laughing. And it's clearly not anything that they should be worried about. And I'm like, sigh of relief. They've just saved my dignity slightly.
Yeah, because if you hear it, you go, surely they're not watching that right now. Or whilst I'm in the house
that's
or
what
whatever.
you presume. I've never
but
asked them.
if they listen for, like, maybe an extra 10 seconds, they'll be like, oh, it's a film he's watching.
Yeah.
But I'm always paranoid that they'll hear the first 5 seconds and go, oh, that's gross. Let's leave the house. Let's leave the house and not have to talk to him.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. That's one of the perils of living with a parent. I wonder if it'd be the same if you're living with friends.
I think I'd still feel embarrassed and I'd still have to walk into my friend's room and go, look, I'm just bumping up a basketball. It's not weird.
I think I'd be less
but Tom,
embarrassed, though.
it's 9:30 at night. Why are you blowing up a basketball?
But you know, like housemates back in the day, like housemates that we used to live with, they used to have sex obviously loudly. And it's almost like to show off, whilst that definitely would not happen in a house with parents, you know?
No, or you'd put on Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a smart go-to.
Yeah.
Anyway, Anya.
Anyway, so...
What? Huh?
What, who?
Anyway, Anya, what are we talking about this week?
Today, we are talking about how to stay motivated, which...
Motivated.
Is something at the moment which I think a lot of people, including myself, are probably struggling with, because it kind of just feels, especially with the times that we're living in at the moment, where there's like no progression, everything's the same. It's like, how do you keep going? How do you keep the momentum up? Or even like, how do you start to even get motivated? Because I think a lot of the time it's not even keeping momentum up, it's getting started on the motivation, getting started on those projects that you've been, you know, not doing and ignoring for weeks.
Yeah. I struggle with motivation a lot. If I haven't got someone hanging over me going, hey, Tom, you should probably do this. Hey, do this. Now, quick. If I don't have that voice, or if I don't have, oh, God, I got 20 minutes to do this, I'm really good at just going, future Tom will do it. Just push it down the line. I need constant motivation, constant cheering on, except for what you sent me the other day of, yeah, Tom, you've got this. Come on. Yeah, woo.
You didn't like that?
No, because I was trying to work and every 3 seconds my phone's going,
that for
what?
If you didn't see on our Instagram, basically Tom was editing something and I was messaging him like,
editing this last week.
Go Tom. Just trying to cheer him on because it was a late
night
edit.
But in separate messages.
I was being nice.
Well, I had to pick it up every time. Like, oh, what's she saying now? Oh, she's still saying, go Tom. Give me a T. Give me an O.
Give me an M. What does that spell?
I can spell my own name, I can't spell big words, but I can spell Tom.
Well, you know, okay, well now I've learned that's not the strategy for you. Next time it'll be tough love, Tom. I will say, come on, you piece
Just don't reply, just don't send me anything. Just say, hey, is the edit done yet? That's all I need. And I go,
yeah, but I just feel like that sounds so...
Cold? Be cold. I'm
okay with that. You want me to be cold?
Absolutely.
Like, where's the edit, Tom? God, come on,
yeah, because that'll motivate
Hurry
me
up,
to work
Tom.
faster and harder.
Interesting.
It's tough love and it works for some people.
All right. Well, if tough love works for you, Tom, then that's great. I know what makes you tick and what makes you motivated. Although I don't know whether that's motivation or whether that's
It's fear. It's fear.
fear.
A lot of our relationship, Andrew, is fear.
Your motivation is driven by me biting your head off.
Yeah, I think fear is actually quite a good way of
Motivate.
motivating people. Like,
Yeah.
you'd always work hard when you had that strict teacher at school
Yes.
because you're like, oh, I don't want Miss Scary Pants to shout at me and ring my parents. You don't want
Yeah.
that. So you're like, oh, yeah, I'll work extra hard. I'll stay after school to prove that I'm a good student. Absolutely.
It's
And
true.
that's fear. It's not want. You don't want to do it.
I
You're
think
like,
there's
"Just terrifying."
definitely like a set of physical forces that have to be in motion in order for you to stay motivated or get motivated. Like there has to be like a general willingness that has an undercurrent of something, like whether that's fear or whether that's like the idea of succeeding, or there has to be something. Like in order to get motivated, generally what it comes down to is there's like you have to have something there that makes you go, okay, I'm going to do this now. And a lot of the time with motivation, in order for you to get going on something, it's like, okay, this is a bad way of explaining it, but this is my like analogy that helps me understand it. When you've got a deadline, so for example, like thinking about essays, like whether you're at school or at university, or maybe even you've got like a report for work, that like general writing piece, you put off and off and off and off and off. But then for a lot of people, this happens. Is that your phone or mine?
I think it was probably both of us. I think an Instagram from both of us. Hi guys, thanks for showing interest in our new Bullhorn studio.
What was that
I
from?
replied to a tweet.
Oh, that's nice.
And they're getting involved. That's quite fun though.
Yeah, that's fun.
We've been working on a free studio, allowing listeners. Now we'll investigate after. Sure.
I'm just gonna start this again.
Huh?
So basically, the way that I perceive motivation for a lot of people is that sometimes the pain of not doing it outweighs the pain of doing it, and that's when you finally do it. So for example, when you have that deadline that needs to be done, if you've got 2 weeks to do it, you might leave it until the second to last day to start
Second
it.
to last?
Sometimes, some people do. I know people that have done their dissertation on the second to last day of it being handed in. It wasn't you, but you were close to the mark.
I handed it in the day of.
Yeah, you did. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah,
But eventually that pain of the like guilt and the fear of failing finally catches up to you, and it outweighs that initial idea of like getting started. So I think for you as well, having me there being like fear, that outweighs the pain of actually doing it. So a lot of the time it's that pain. Like for example, when you really want to start exercising because you want to like get fitter, you want to get into shape, eventually the guilt that you put on yourself becomes more overwhelming than the actual task itself of the physical exercise, that it motivates you to actually get started and get going. And that's what I think, that's where I think a lot of the motivation actually spawns from, is that something, that undercurrent of that other feeling outweighs that getting started, and then that's what pushes you to be motivated and to get going on things.
And you're quite an organised person, so what gives you the motivation to get up and go?
So for me, it is fear of failure. Like, I hate that. I don't like disappointing people, and I really don't like disappointing myself. I think it probably goes for a lot of people that you're probably hardest on yourself. Like, I wouldn't say stuff that I think to myself to my friends if they hadn't done something, or if they didn't reach their best potential on something. But it's easier to be harder on yourself because you know there's no hard feelings after that. It's just you could have done better at that, instead of being like, it's okay.
But you going, you could have done better for that, I don't think that necessarily helps.
What do you mean?
I think you need a moment of like acceptance to keep going. I think if you just say to yourself all the time, oh, you could have done better, I think that puts you in a negative mind space rather than a motivational purpose.
I've always set if I set the bar really high, I will always try and reach that height. If I just set the bar, huh?
Hmm?
What?
Carry on.
If I set the bar like at a mediocre point that I knew that I would succeed, I would just hit the bar and then that would be it. But if you set it really, really high, especially this is what works for me, I'll usually exceed the point that I know that I can exceed easily, and maybe not hit the bar, the highest challenge that I've set for myself, but like it will be just under.
So you'll set the bar low?
No, I'll set the bar really high.
Right.
And
you said two things. You said you have a low bar and a high bar.
Yeah, so like I could set the bar mediocre.
So there's only one bar in this.
There's only one bar.
Right. Okay.
I
you
could
threw me
set
with having
it.
a low bar and smashing it.
No, this is how I think I work. I could set the bar at a mediocre point and hit it, but I would never progress. Like that would just be it. That would just be like me ringing the bell every single time, but not progressing, just staying in the same place. Or I could set the bar really high, probably not reach it because I have far too high expectations and always like to challenge myself, but I'm still progressing and I'm going higher than the bar that I know that I can reach.
Mm-hmm.
And although that's disappointing to not reach it every single time, and I probably do put myself in a negative mindset sometimes, ultimately I have succeeded what I know that I could definitely do. Okay. Even though I have set myself a higher challenge than what I know I could definitely do.
But I think if there's no point of... So recently we got my cat a laser pen so he can run after it. And I always feel bad with the laser pen because he doesn't get the payoff of catching it in the end. There's nothing physical that he can claim that he's done. He's not eaten anything, he's not caught anything, he hasn't killed anything. He's just been running around. And in my head it's like, this feels mean because there's no payoff. Yeah. And if I set this bar so high that I know I'm never going to achieve it, or if I do achieve it, I just go, oh, stupid me, I should have set the bar higher. I don't know if there's any gratification between doing this. And I think you need some form of payoff to keep you driven. Yeah,
because I've exceeded what I knew that I could do. I just haven't hit the bar. But this is not every time. This is just a lot of times.
But the clause that you've got, you just haven't hit the bar.
Yeah.
What? You haven't hit the bar. Doesn't that then put you in a negative space? There's no point of like catharsis where you've successfully done what you needed to do.
No, because
you'll always look down on what you've done. You'll always go, oh, I should have done this, that, and the other.
But then if you think about it, it's like that phrase, isn't it? If you aim for the moon, you'll land in the stars. It's like that. It's
not like that though.
But that's how I perceive it.
It's like shooting for the moon, hitting the moon, and then going, oh, the moon sucks. I should have aimed further. There isn't that payoff. Okay, well, it's your way of motivation, so that's the only thing that's important. But for me, I don't think I'd be able to work like that because there is no payoff. Like, I think little goals to obtain a bigger goal works better. Granted, I think we're talking about two separate entities, but I think you do need some form of payoff to feel like you've actually achieved and done well.
The payoff for me is that I know that I have succeeded what I am capable of. Like, I've basically... It's like if you're an athlete and you're training for something... Naturally like you, Tom.
Yeah.
If you know...
I do basketball now. I've got basketball.
If you know you can do a 100-meter sprint, you know that you can do that. So then you know that that's like your best, but you want to do better. So you're going to aim for 150, okay? But you don't reach 150, you reach 125. Mm-hmm. Although you haven't hit that goal, you've gone further than you know that you are capable of at your limit. So you're going beyond your limit, but you haven't reached your target. But over the course of time, with that training... But you don't sound like
you're gratifying yourself. You're not saying,
but
you know what?
Because I'm thinking about how if I hadn't have set the bar that high and if I hadn't have put what seems on paper like an unachievable goal, I wouldn't have surpassed the goal that I know that I am capable of. Mm-hmm. And I have surpassed that goal. I just haven't reached what I've put down to get.
I get what you're saying.
So that's the payoff. And eventually I will get there with time and effort and constantly.
But I think having that overall goal is not great because you'll end up dying and not have hit your goal. And then you go, oh, my life wasn't fulfilled.
I mean, you can think about it that way, or you can think
I
about
do.
it, if I never ever set myself what looks like on paper to be unachievable goals, then I'm never going to put myself out there to even try, because I'm just going to think that's not achievable. I'm not going to be fulfilled by that, so I'm not going to even try to do that. Essentially, I have tried and I might not have hit the mark, but I've gone a damn stretch further than I would have done if I hadn't even tried to stretch the limit. And that's my payoff.
Okay. I'll let you have that. I disagree, but I'll let you have it.
Okay. But you know what? Like, things work for different people, don't they? Like, we're not all the same. If we were all the same, we would be boring. Like, this world wouldn't work if we were a unified set of robotic humans that had the same interests, had the same skill set.
So we spoke about me and how I would hate it if I met me.
Yeah.
How do you think you'd react if you met you?
I don't think I'd be too keen on me.
Okay.
I don't like, it's not nice to see like a reflected version of yourself. Like, I think when you're inside your own body vehicle, like in your thoughts,
Vehicle.
you don't really have perspective on it. You're just in it. You're like in the moment. Like, it's like in any moment. When you're in the moment, it's hard to have perspective on it because you're literally living it right then and there. It's hard to think about things in an overview when it's happening. But if that moment's passed, you then have time to reflect on it. And it's like, if there's a copy of me standing there, I'm not living in their moment. They're living in their moment. I'm living in my moment. So I've got time to look at them in that moment. And
do you really reflect on things that you've done that heavily? You don't just move on and go, oh, that happened, moved on.
It depends how impactful they've been, yeah, and like whether I've learned a big lesson from them or not.
Right. Like obviously if I stabbed someone, I'd be like, oh, Tom, stupid, don't. Oh, so annoying. You shouldn't have stabbed him. But like if it was like, oh, I should have worn different jeans that day, I wouldn't think more on it.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Depends how big the life lesson is, isn't it? But that's not the question you asked me. The question you asked me was,
would you be friends with you if you met you? And you said no.
Probably not, because I think I'd be able to overanalyze all the flaws. Whilst right now it's kind of hard to overanalyze all your flaws when you're living with them right now. Like, it's hard to have perspective. It's like hindsight is a blessing and a curse, you know? It's like, you know, after it's happened. So if you have
like
it
I said,
whilst
for
it's
me,
happening, then...
For me, it's double chaos energy, and that's just awful.
Chaotic. I just think, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't like to... I'd rather just stick with one me. I'm very happy with just me. I don't need
Some people
Anya.
aren't. Some people go, one's maybe too many. Maybe have half. Half
just
an
half.
Anya.
Half an Anya. And then she'll only reach half of her potential. Stop setting that bar. She'll chill out. Take a
Yeah, that's
chill
why
pill.
we want Anya's. We want Anya's just so she hits half of the bars. We always see it as competition.
It's good
If
to
you
have
met,
healthy
okay, here's a fun
competition.
question. If you met you,
If I met me...
so let's say there was two Anyas.
It's two
There was
me's.
Anya Alpha and Anya Beta, and you met Anya Alpha
Yeah.
because obviously you're not going to be the alpha of the two. Would you see her as competition,
Yeah.
or would you see her as someone that you'd like to help because she's you?
Competition.
Would you? Do you see
Bring it
most
on.
people as competition?
I think it's hard not to compare yourself to other people, whether or not that's competition or not. I don't know. Like, I don't think I look at everyone and go, oh my god, you're like, I need to do better than you. But I do think you sit there and you compare and you go, you're doing things in your life that I wish I was doing. And then I definitely do get like a spurt of energy.
Motivation. So that motivates you. That would so seeing
Yeah.
people as competition motivates you to do better.
100%.
So it doesn't demotivate you going, oh, this 21-year-old is 5 years ahead of where I'm going to be and I'm 24.
I mean, yeah, it's slightly depressing sometimes when you do see people like, for example, she's doing great and like, she's brilliant. I love her music, but I can't believe that Billie Eilish is only 19. And when she started like Ocean Eyes, I remember being a fan of her when she was, I think she was 15 when she wrote Ocean Eyes. Yeah, she just became big when she was 16, 17. And I remember watching YouTube videos, and then I think she did one with Vanity Fair where it was like, how old are you?
Oh,
like,
she looks
I'm
back
15.
on herself.
Oh my god, I was like, you're how old? And then you're like, you've been so successful in such a short amount of time, and then obviously you compare and go, wow, that's a bummer. But also, you have to remember, that progressing at that rate also has its disadvantages. And often, once you reach a level of success, that is often, from what I have heard from celeb interviews and people that are like entrepreneurs at a young age,
From what I've heard from my pals,
it's demotivating. And often, once you've hit the highest bar that you can possibly obtain, you don't know where to go next, and you end up in a slump. You don't know which direction to go in. So I feel like there's pros and cons. Obviously, like, I would argue that they're probably at an advantage. They've hit their peak at a young age. They've got a lot of money, probably got a house. But also, you have to appreciate those moments, you know? Like, although it's a struggle and keeping up motivation and progression, it's difficult. And at the time, you do feel lost and you do feel the struggle of it. But you're never going to get that time back. And actually, it's really rewarding. Although, like, when you're in the moment, you feel like it's a slog. Looking back on that, it's actually really rewarding that you have worked towards it. And I think people that succeed in a really short amount of time don't get that satisfaction, no matter how difficult it might seem in the moment.
I agree. But I get demotivated when I see people who are doing so well at a young age.
Does it not make you go, like, I'm going to do
it?
No,
it makes me go, oh, I should have done this when I was younger. I should have done this when I was younger. I should have done this. I shouldn't have done this. I should have done that, though. And then I'm like, oh, I'm wasting my time.
Interesting. Well, you know,
and then
different things work for different people.
Well, obviously, there's a different calling for different people, but I do struggle to, in that mindset, in that time, go, maybe that wasn't what I was put here for. Maybe that wasn't my purpose in life. My purpose is this instead of that.
Yeah.
But at that time, I'm going, God, this 18-year-old is so much better and so much more talented than I am. God, I suck. And then you get in a spiral.
Yeah, and it's like, how do you get out of that spiral of slump, demotivation, procrastination? Like, how do you get yourself out of that funk? And often, like, it's the getting started that is like the pivotal point. Like, that's the hardest point. And then once you're over that hurdle, it gets easier. Like, Newton's law of, is it like movement or something? Essentially, he argues, I can't remember what the actual like physics name of it is. But
do you know what? When you introduced this, our IQ for our podcast just rocketed, and then you've just sold us down a river, and
I don't know the actual.
So
name
yeah,
of
you
it,
remember when Newton said,
I know the theory.
What did he say?
It makes sense. The theory is that it's so much easier to move something when it's already in motion. Like, for example, let's bring it back down to my level. If you think about a trolley, the trolley's got... Fine, our level. I didn't want to put your name to it if you didn't want to be associated.
Okay, I was just curious if you were putting yourself above me or below me.
No, below, but you can join the crew if you want.
I'm there.
Okay, cool. So you're going to be happy to hear, in our crew, we've got a trolley.
Oh, I know that. I can relate.
We know what a trolley is. In the trolley, we've got 1,000 tubs of your favourite ice cream.
Oh, I hate ice cream.
Oh, you don't like ice cream. Okay.
I can relate. I know ice cream. I can...
You can make milkshakes out of it and you'll be happy.
I know ice cream. Yeah.
Okay, great. We've got 1,000 tubs of your favourite ice cream. Ben and Jerry's cookie dough, by the way, if you're interested.
Great for milkshakes.
Exactly. And if you think about actually physically pushing that trolley, it's really hard to get it going. Like, that first force that you have to push is the hardest bit of force that you have to put into that
Guys,
whole
head to the
motion.
YouTube channel because Anya is doing a little dance.
I look like I'm doing a little aerobics class from the 80s. Anyway, that's the hardest amount of force. That's the most force that you're going to have to push on that motion in that moment. But once it starts moving, the force that you have to put on that object to get that motion, it lessens. You don't have to push as much force onto it because it's already in motion. And it's the same. You have to marry that idea up with motivation in your life as a concept. So the hardest part is to get moving and to get motivated. But once you are motivated and once you've got that motivation in motion, it's a lot easier to keep up. So something that I've been doing, which is such like a basic thing to do, And you're probably gonna roll your eyes at me, Tom. I can picture it already. There you go, rolling. You see me rolling.
I'm ready to roll.
Okay. So, in order for me to be motivated with my exercises in the morning, I make it as easy as possible for me to get that motion started by laying out my workout gear on my bedside table the night before so that I'm ready in the morning.
Like it's Mufti Day.
Exactly like that. See, you can relate. Because
I can't relate because gym, but I know Mufti Day.
There you go, Mufti Day. Because that makes it so much easier then when I have to wake up and make that first force of getting into that motivation headspace. That's so much easier because it's already there. Like, what am I doing other than putting on my clothes, walking downstairs? Like, that first step. And I think that goes for a lot of things. Like, for example, sometimes the hardest part of starting an essay is actually sitting down in that space, picking up that pen, writing out, the skeleton of what you want to include in your essay. Sometimes that can be the hardest bit, just like sitting down in a space that's quiet enough for you to concentrate and actually getting some pen to paper ideas down. So if you can manage to do that, I guarantee you will feel more motivated, maybe not fully motivated to get it done, depends how hard the task is, but it will be easier once you've taken that first step. And the hardest step is the first step.
So I've got to lay out my clothes.
Right. If you want to be motivated for your day, yes, it helps.
I think setting goals, once you've written down what you want to do, I think you're in a stronger position. You don't have to write it out, you can think of it. But I think once you have a main objective that you want to achieve, like for me, it's the little goals. Mm-hmm. Like, let's say I want to get into shape. If I do 5 push-ups, that's more than I was doing before. That doesn't sound like too many. Mm-hmm. And then do 5 sit-ups, and that's half a workout for me, right? So as long as you set up little goals of, oh, I didn't leave the house today, walk and buy cookies. Then you're outside, and you've got somewhere to go, and you've got a purpose. If you set little goals, and you've also got cookies, if you set little goals...
Bit counteractive.
Well, you don't have to walk just for exercise. I walk so I get out of the house. Clears your head.
True. Yeah,
do
true.
Lots of walking.
Right.
But yeah, I always... I tend to go out and buy food. I think that's probably one of the easiest ways to get out of the house, because you also go to a shop.
Yeah.
And social interaction's always good with the self-service checkouts.
Yeah, the machines.
They love me there.
Do you have a club card? No, I don't. If you're part of your club.
I always think I should sign up, but I never do. Nectar card? Obviously I should have one.
I'm an adult. Christ.
God, every time I go, I would have saved money if I had a membership card. And I go, when you get home, Tom, sign up for one.
You don't.
I don't.
I know, story of my life.
And then I signed up, this is a tangent that you'll all enjoy.
Oh, okay.
I got a club card for one of these supermarkets.
That's nice.
Because in one of my old jobs, I was right next to this shop and I'd get my lunch there from every day. Now don't go to it.
Oh, what a shame.
Not out of choice.
All those points wasted.
I just don't go, and it's stupid.
You never know. You might start it up again. Your
but
points
it's still on my keys. So I'm always good to go for if I ever go in there.
That's nice. Good to know, Tom.
But the only one I've signed up for, I now don't go to anymore.
Oh, maybe start again. Know. Start the motivation to
go out of my way to build up those points.
Yeah.
Smart. You're smart.
Yeah, clear your head on the walk. Yeah.
Clear your head. Yeah. My plan of action is always make little goals. If you don't feel like you're doing anything that day, make a little goal, and you also get that payoff that I was having an argument with Anya at the beginning of the podcast. You also get that payoff because you've set something so small and so minor.
Yeah.
You instantly get that endorphin hit of adrenaline of, accomplishment. No,
I do get that, and I feel the same when I have done little accomplishments. Like today, my little accomplishments that I wanted to get done was hang the washing up. Did
nice.
that.
See, that's a great thing. Chores are often easy ways to just tick things off your to-do list.
Call my grandma. Did that.
Nice.
Felt great about that. And do a
How
workout. I did that. Yeah, she's great. Yeah,
good. She's
lovely. She sent me a card the other day, and the card said on the front of it, "This is not this is not a card. This is not just a card. This is a card. This is a folded piece of paper with a hug in it.
Oh.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't say
adorable.
that quite right, but you got the memento. Yeah. Anyway, yes, small little things that you can do to tick off. You'll get that positive affirmation in your day. You'll feel better about it, and hopefully it'll make you feel more motivated and in a positive mindset to reach those bigger things that you've been putting off. However, I don't think there's anything wrong in pushing yourself, if you're able to try and reach those things by starting the momentum off.
I think have a big goal.
Yeah, and just like making it easier for yourself to reach that big goal by making that first hurdle easier, by writing out the skeleton for your essay, by setting out your gym clothes overnight so you're ready in the morning. And another thing that I find really, really helps is just, like you said, kind of like bringing that, just do something small in order to make something work. If you marry that up with the big goals, one thing that I really like to do is just set a really, really small amount of time aside to just be like, okay, I'm going to focus on this big project that I've been putting off for ages. I like to call it my frog. It's like the thing. Have I said this expression before? This is a big expression in the Pierce family. So we like to eat our frogs in the morning.
Weird.
We like to eat our frogs in the morning. I don't know if anyone else has this expression. But
No.
essentially, your frog is like the big thing that you have to do at work at the moment. And it's scary, it's annoying, you put it off all the time. It's called your frog. You like to eat your frog first thing in the day so you get it out the way. But it's sometimes hard to start on your frog. So something that I like to do, which I think you'll like, is setting aside a really, really small amount of time, like, for example, 20 minutes, and going, I'm going to focus on this for 20 minutes. I can dedicate 20 minutes. It's not scary. It's not going to take up 4 hours. It's got a time limit on it. I can stop if I'm not motivated after that 20 minutes. But actually sitting down and getting that 20 minutes done, you'll often find that the momentum is then there because you've actually then started it. You've actually then got in the headspace for it. You're sat in the area that you can concentrate to focus on it. And then because you're already in that momentum, you just go, do you know what? I'm just going to continue on. And it doesn't happen all the time. Like, there are your off days where you're like, do you know what? I really actually can't focus on this. I'm not going to do this today. But a lot of the time, once you've gotten over that first step of just sitting down and doing it, putting that pen to paper, often it's very easy to keep going.
Like, I'm a big fan of the Pierces, except Anya, but frog doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry.
I don't know where frog came from, but it's
I was
definitely
lost
eat
as
your
soon
frog.
as you said eat your frog just doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right. I think it's kiss your frog, isn't it? Like all the men in your past that have been frogs.
Yes.
Because then
Yeah,
you
because
finally
one will
find
be
your
a Prince Charming. Yeah.
Exactly. But no, eat your frog.
But you don't eat them. You don't eat your prince. That'd be stupid.
You eat your frogs. I don't know why.
If you were to, this is me. This isn't related to anything. If your frog was Prince Charming, right? So in this fairy tale, this exact frog is Prince Charming, and you eat it. You don't kiss it.
Yeah, but it's two different things.
Would it still
concepts.
become a prince in your tummy?
Well, no.
Would it just be a frog?
Frog.
So Prince Charming only becomes
Prince
Charming from a
Prince
kiss.
Charming is never a frog. Prince Charming is Prince Charming.
Well, it's the expression, isn't that you're Prince Charming?
Yeah.
But my whole thing was you kiss a frog and it becomes a prince in the fairy tales.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't kiss it, you eat it. Does it, because it hasn't been kissed, become a prince, or does it just get eaten? Or does it become a prince in your tummy?
Tom, I don't know. I don't think any fairy tales have really explored that route. Maybe.
Well, Walt, I will wait for your call, Mr. Disney.
I would like to know the ending.
You know how to contact me, sir.
It's info@weareaudiobox.com.
Send us that email, and I'll be happy to work with you on this project.
Oh, nice.
Small goals, big goals. And we'll eat that frog.
We'll spend 20 minutes of my time starting this.
Walt, I will give you however long you want for this project.
Uh-huh. So, Tom,
So Anya.
Oh, I hate it when you say Anya. It's not my name. So Tom.
So Anya.
There we go. he nearly lost his head. No, I'm joking. See, fear.
It's fear.
Does things to people. Oh, you didn't like that, did you?
Hey, Anya.
What? Oh, I like that. That's fun.
I have a t-shirt on with a cat poking his head through his pocket.
Did you
And
wear
if you
that? You go on, sorry.
if you pull the pocket down, it's a cat swearing. It's hilarious. I
Did you
wore it
wear
to
that to
work, and
work?
people said I shouldn't.
Did they actually say you shouldn't wear that to work?
People
That's
said I
so
should.
funny.
But it's fine as long as I don't pull the pocket down.
Yeah, it's risque.
So most
isn't it?
people-
Living
most
life on the
people-
edge.
Most people go, "Oh, that's a cute t-shirt." And I go, "Little do they know, it's flipping them off." But,
You're so funny.
I'm so cool,
Yes.
and I don't feel like I should be the one who has to say it all the time.
You never know, Tom. Maybe after some time, people will start recognising it more, and you might get the gratification that you want.
See, the sarcastic undertones of the whole message just
keep going, keep
plowed on
motivated.
through. Plowed on
keep
through.
going with it, and I'm sure you'll get the gratification one day.
So
Anyway,
I was on our Instagram at We Are AudioBox today, Anya,
yeah,
and we normally put a poll up on the day that we're recording,
I know.
but alas, there was no poll.
I failed. I didn't put a poll up because my brain decided it would like to be a sieve.
To be fair, we're recording on a different day today,
Yeah, no,
so
that's my excuse.
I'll let you have an easy out. But if you were scared of me, Anya, you would have remembered to have done that.
Yeah, I know. Maybe you should be more scary.
Am I not intimidating?
No, not the slightest.
Ah, dang.
Especially when you say that.
Double
Yeah.
dang.
Double. You think that makes your case better? Double danging.
Yes.
Anyway, I hold my hands up. I apologise. I forgot to put the poll up. I am going to argue that we are recording on a different day, so it slipped my memory, but I should have done better. I will not do it again.
If I was in charge of it, the Tune Squatters would have got this poll.
I know. But you didn't remind me to do it either, so, you know.
I didn't know it was my job to remind you, Anya.
If you love the Tune Squatters that much,
Don't spin it.
you
Don't
might
spin
have
it.
pulled a Anya, are you gonna put the poll up today or not? But you didn't. Anyway,
You live and learn.
you live and learn. We're growing people. You know, people make mistakes. It's fine. We're all fine.
Not
But-
this egregious.
I did get a nice little statistic anyway because
we love
you
that.
know we love facts here. We love knowing what the people say and the people think. And although these facts aren't coming from our people, it's coming from some people. You know, people like people. So
We
anyway,
love facts.
we love facts.
Look at us. The pair of us who thought Newton, just referencing Newton, was an A1 answer.
It is an triple star.
And now
Don't
we're
get-
there going, we love facts.
love facts here. So, my statistic of the day is that motivation is the most significant predictor of success, and success is achieved through high performance, which comes from motivation. And a motivated person apparently will be 78% more successful in their lifetime. But I
That makes
think
sense.
it does make a lot of sense. However, I think success is up for interpretation because for some people success might be money, for some people success might be happiness, for some people success might be safety and health. There's a lot of different
Puppies.
things. Puppies,
Puppies.
donuts on a Saturday,
Donuts every day.
donuts every day. So, you know, the levels of motivation there, like how much motivation really needs to go into persuading me to go to the shop to get donuts? Not much. Exactly. If that's what your pedometer of success is, you don't have to have that much higher motivation.
I don't
do
know if
you?
that's a successful goal, to get donuts on a Saturday.
I would call that a success. I don't know what you would sum that up as.
I don't know if that's a successful goal. Like having a house of your own, I think that's a successful goal.
Well, there's different levels, isn't there? This is
I don't think getting donuts is a successful goal.
We've switched roles here because at the start of the podcast, I was saying aim high, do the big motivation things in life, and you were saying take the baby steps, focus on the small wins, and now you're turning up your tune, aren't you? Because you're saying...
Yeah, but I don't think you should be having to have all this motivation to become the best you just so you can get donuts on a Saturday.
Tom, whatever makes you happy, right?
I hate this podcast. If it wasn't for the Tune Squad, I wouldn't turn up every week.
Anyway, I do personally think that, like, I get I want to say my kicks, but that's definitely not it.
No.
Feel happy.
Kinks.
Not kinks.
There we go. We're on track.
I feel happy and successful when I've had a productive day. And in order to have a productive day, I need to be motivated to have that productive day. So for me, being successful and getting a lot of stuff done requires me to be motivated.
Rich in dollar bills.
Well, hopefully one day we'll be rich in dollar bills. So I do agree that motivation probably does come hand in hand with successful people, because you're going to put yourself out there, you're going to spend more time on things, and, you know, obviously if you spend more time and effort on things, it's going to become hopefully a bigger thing. You're going to become better in it. That's what people say. Yeah. Practice makes perfect. I hate that saying, but it's so true. You get better at things that you practice at.
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense. Anyway, Tom.
But Tune Squadders.
Yes.
It is now that time at the end of the podcast where I try to formulate words into a sign-off, and I never managed to do it.
Maybe you should try it. Give it a go.
Maybe I should write it down every week and have like a standardised sign-off, but I know I won't do that.
It's fine.
Anyway, Tune Squadders, thank you very much for listening to another great episode of Why Watch a Table for You Adult. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at We Are AudioBox. Say hi and get involved. Get engaged wasn't what I want to say. Get involved with our polls. Polls? Get in touch. Get engaged with our polls. I instantly forgot what I said after I popped through the mic. But do check us out on Instagram and Twitter at We Are AudioBox. I might put up something with my biggest goal, and Anya might put up something of her biggest goal. Kind of said that without thinking it through. We'll see what happens. Check out our Instagram. We might have something up. Thank you very much for listening. Tune in next week, Tune Squad, to another great episode.
And kids.
Less so.
You
great episode.
The kids.
It's on purpose. Tune Squad's the matters. Tune in next week for another great episode, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, kids.
Bye-bye.